There are not many players in the world who get the chance to play for some of the biggest European clubs. Still, those who get it should make the most of it. Today I bring you the story of a football player who got such an opportunity and did not take it. I bring you the story of Royston Drenthe. Born in Rotterdam, Drenthe joined local side Feyenoord's youth system at the age of 13, playing mainly as a winger during his junior years. After disciplinary issues during a trip to Switzerland with the B side, coach Marcel Boot wanted him to leave the club, but the issues were resolved after the intervention of Rob Bang, the club's director of football. Boot hardly used Drenthe in his subsequent lineups, and at the end of the season, the 16-year-old was named as one of the 11 players whose future at the club was questionable. He eventually moved to Feyenoord feeder club Excelsior. Drenthe improved during the 2 years he played at Excelsior, with manager Marco van Lochem successfully playing him at the left back. After impressing his former side's coaching staff, he was asked to rejoin the club, which he accepted. In the 2005-2006 season, Drenthe was promoted to Feyenoord's first team, managed by his former youth coach Henk Fraser, and had to compete for the first choice status with Mohamed Hamouti. After scoring 3 goals against Ajax in the Autumn Cup, he began training with the main squad while still appearing for the reserves. In the same week where he held his club to a 5-1 win at Ajax with the second team, Drenthe was offered a professional contract at Feyenoord. Manager Erwin Koeman handed him his first Eredivisie debut, and the player finished the season with 3 matches. In 2006-2007 season, Feyenoord signed Philippe Lenard, while Pascal Boskart was also still part of the squad. After the former suffered an injury and was transferred to ADO Den Haag, Drenthe became first choice as Feyenoord finished 7th in the league. After winning the 2007 UEFA European Under-21 Championship with the Netherlands and following transfer speculation in the press, Feyenoord accepted a €14 million bid by Real Madrid after Drenthe threatened to make his club to court if they did not want to let him go. Drenthe was presented as a Real Madrid player on 13 August 2007 alongside Wesley Sneijder. He made his official debut as a midfielder in the second leg of the season's Spanish Super Cup against Sevilla and scored the 1-1 equalizer from 40 yards out, with the ball hitting the crossbar and crossing the line. Drenthe played regularly for Real Madrid in his debut season in both left-wing positions, but began appearing less after the development of Marcelo, being dropped from the list of 18 by manager Ben Schuster in several games. At one time, after being left out for the match against Valencia, Drenthe stormed out of the training ground. Despite rumors of him leaving the club on loan, Drenthe featured in 15 of Real Madrid's first 18 games of the 2008-2009 season. However, he also suffered from anxiety issues after being booed by the club supporters during 1-0 home win against Deportivo de La Coruña and did not feature for the club for a period, although manager Juan de Ramos offered the players his support and insisted he would help him. The manager later revealed that the player asked not to be picked for the 3 games after the Deportivo fixture. On August 31, 2010, after having appeared rarely in the third season, Drenthe was loaned to Hercules in a season-long move. He made his debut on 11 September in a 2-0 away win against Barcelona and scored his first goal for the club on November 14, netting from a free kick against Real Sociedad in a 2-1 home victory. His performances were subsequently praised by the Spanish press. On 3rd April 2011, in his second game after his suspension, Drenthe scored twice to help Hercules to its first away win since September, a 3-1 against Real Sociedad. He ended the season with 15 starts, with his team being finally relegated. Drenthe then went to loan to Everton, where he recorded 21 appearances, scoring 3 goals. His performances at the Everton were not bad, although it was far from those of a couple of years ago. Drenthe left Real Madrid after his contract expired in the summer of 2012. By the time he retired, he had changed a lot of clubs that aren't even worth mentioning. Some of them are Sheffield Wednesday, Reading and Sparta Rotterdam. Drenthe played so badly that in 2019 he failed to find a club and then announced he was retiring. Since then, he has dedicated himself to rap music. However, This start of his career provided to be his peak. In his 3 years at Bernabeu, Drenthe never produced consistently, eventually falling behind Marcelo in the pecking order. The Dutchman struggled to rekindle any kind of form during his subsequent loan moves and started to fall out of love with the game. Apart from Marcelo, the culprit for the failure of his career is Drenthe himself, who was very mentally unstable, allowing various comments from the fans to throw him out of step. He just wasn't for big things. He could not succumb to that pressure that is present when playing for big clubs. You just watched another episode of Football Globe Production. Thank you and goodbye.